Hello and welcome back to Fallout 3, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at the assault rifle and its unique variants. And this is before the assault rifle got really cursed in Fallout 4. So this one definitely looks a whole lot better than the Fallout 4 assault rifle. It is a little bit strange that the US has a G3 as their rifle, but I don't hate it. I actually really like the G3. It's a cool looking gun, and it's modeled the same way as a G3, which is pretty cool, although this one is chambered in 5.56, where most G3s, as far as I'm aware, were chambered in 308, which would have been really cool to get one like this, especially if it was full auto, but it does make sense for this one to be in 5.56 and for that round to be here, so I'm not going to complain. The assault rifle is probably going to be one of the very first guns that you get in Fallout 3. You can actually get one right away if you would like, if you just go up and around the vault. There's an old farm up there that actually has a hunting rifle and some bullets. Usually I grab that, and then there's a damaged truck nearby that usually has robots near it, so it's a little bit scary to go to right away. At least it has a Mr. Gutsy there, and he's a little bit scary at the beginning. But it always has an assault rifle there that you can pick up. It's not a great conditioned assault rifle, and these aren't super difficult to find throughout the wasteland. You can find them laying around. Super mutants tend to carry them around quite a bit. Raiders carry them around quite a bit. This is probably going to be one of the more common weapons that you find around the wasteland. For the stats of the assault rifle, this one does 8 damage per shot, which is okay. This is a full auto only gun, and 8 damage is perfectly fine for that. This does 64 damage per second, which is pretty good damage per second. This has a very low crit chance. Like a lot of full auto weapons in these games, they tend to give them really low crits. This has a multiplier of 0.125, so very unlikely to hit crits even once you've maxed out your total luck. The highest luck that you can actually get, or the highest crit chance you can get in Fallout 3, is actually 18%. So then you would multiply that by the crit chance, and this one isn't going to be hitting crits super often, unless they're sneak crits, because then they're guaranteed crits. This one does 8 crit damage, which is fine. That's the same as its regular damage. You're going to get a little bit more if you are hitting crits, so that's cool. This one costs 23 action points to use in VATS. Actually, not a whole lot, and this one does fire and burst in VATS, so it's not terrible for a VATS build. This one has 1.5 spread, which is kind of a decent amount. It's not that bad for a full auto weapon like this, and if you only want to be using it at close and medium range, you'll be fine. But out to longer ranges, it's not going to be as reliable. This one holds 24 rounds in the magazine, which is perfectly fine. This one weighs 7 weight, and this one can shoot 1,250 shots before it breaks, which is decent enough. It's not a ton, just because this is full auto, but it's okay, and with the abundance of assault rifles laying around, it's not going to be hard to fix this one up. For the general pros of this weapon, it does have really good damage per second. The assault rifle is really nice for just killing things fairly quickly. And the second major pro is the ammo is actually really common. 5.56 is one of the more common rounds you can find in Fallout 3. It's also one that you can actively farm, which is cool, because if you go down to the Brotherhood Outcasts, and you talk to them, they'll want to get new armor. So this could be Enclave armor, this could be Brotherhood power armor, other power armors that you can find, and other technologies that you can give them. And typically, at least for me, I find the best rewards to either be exchanging the armor and the technology for stim packs or for 5.56 ammo. 5.56 ammo is pretty good because it can go to this and it can go to the Chinese assault rifle, which are pretty good weapons all throughout the game. It's really nice to form that, and you can do it really early on if you do the main quest, since part of that involves going with the Brotherhood, and a lot of them are going to be dead outside of the Galaxy Radio studio. So you can just pick up their stuff, go to the Brotherhood Outcast, drop it off, go back there, pick up whatever you couldn't carry and bring it back. You'll have plenty of stim packs and 5.56 ammo, which should get you through the early and mid game of Fallout 3 without too much trouble. The major cons to the assault rifle is that it does have low damage per shot, so against tankier enemies it's not going to be as good, but that isn't such a big deal, especially if the enemy doesn't have armor, and this does have short to medium range. It's not really great out to long range. We kind of already talked about that, but just spraying this at enemies at a far distance, it can work, but it's not going to work consistently against those enemies as compared to just using a more accurate rifle. For an overall rating for the assault rifle, I think I'd put this one up into B tier. It's pretty solid for the early game. It's pretty solid for the mid game. It does fall off a bit later into the end game, and it is always going to be competing with the Chinese assault rifle as well as its unique variants, which I think the Chinese assault rifle is a little bit better than the regular assault rifle since they have very similar stats. The Chinese assault rifle just does more damage per shot, so you get a little bit more mileage out of it. Now there is 2 unique variants of this, or sort of 2 unique variants. There is the Infiltrator and the Perforator. Both these can be found in the Pit DLC. The Infiltrator is kind of limited because I think there's only like 4 people that actually carry this around. I could be wrong about that. This is a bit of a unique gun because it's the same as the assault rifle. However, it now has a suppressor on it, a scope, and it has the stock chopped off which is a little bit weird to put a scope on a rifle and then cut the stock off of it. I don't know why you would want to do that. I feel like if this thing had a stock, it would look so much better. It would just look so much more aesthetically pleasing, but okay. For the stats, the Infiltrator does 7 damage per shot, so actually a little bit lower than the regular assault rifle. I'm assuming they did this because it had a suppressor on it, and they kind of did the same thing with the regular 10mm, and as opposed to the silenced version of it, so you can kind of use this more in a sneaky role. This does 56 damage per second, so still pretty good DPS. Has the same crit modifier at 0.125. Has 10 crit damage, so it actually does more damage than the regular assault rifle. Costs 23 action points. Has the same spread at 1.5, which seems weird because it seems still strange to have a scope on a gun that's still not very accurate at longer ranges. Like, if I took the scope off of this and had a stock on it, and then you just put the scope onto the Perforator, I feel like that would make the most sense, but whatever. This holds 24 rounds in the magazine, weighs 7, and has slightly better health than the regular assault rifle at 1,429 shots fired before it breaks. This one's pretty decent. It's not really that much of an upgrade over the standard assault rifle in terms of stats. In terms of looks, you could argue it looking better, because I do like the blacked out gun. This one's pretty cool, and you can get a couple of them at the pit. You just have to kill some raiders, or pickpocket some raiders, depending on who you want to side with. And you can get this. For an overall rating for this one, I'd also probably put it up into B tier. It's a decent gun. I don't know if it's really worth rushing the pit just for this one. It could be worth rushing the pit because there is a lot of really good weapons and armor from that. But this one I don't think is a real big standout compared to just the standard assault rifle. Now, there is also the Perforator, which you get from the pit as well, but you do need to earn this one. The only way that you can get the Perforator is if you go out to the scrapyard and you find at least 90 steel ingots. There's 100 in total, so you have to get the majority of them in order to get this as a reward. And the Perforator is pretty awesome. This one has a slower rate of fire than the standard assault rifle or from the Infiltrator, but it does more damage per shot. So the Perforator does 10 damage per shot, which is decent, 60 damage per second, which is also pretty good. This one has a better crit modifier at 0.33. It's still not great. You're still not going to be hitting crits super often with this, but you will be hitting them a lot more often than the assault rifle or the Infiltrator. This one does 14 crit damage, so also pretty decent crit damage, at least for a full auto gun. This one does cost more action points at 27, which is a little bit interesting. This one has a lot less spread at 0.5, so long range is actually fairly achievable with this one. It's still not the best at long range, but it's pretty decent. This one still has the magazine of 24, still weighs 7, and this one has less item health than the Infiltrator and less than the assault rifle, interestingly enough, being able to shoot just 1,000 rounds before it breaks. So you're kind of trading off the rate of fire for more damage and better accuracy. The Perforator, I would say, is an upgrade over the assault rifle and over the Infiltrator. It's also just a very nice reward to get for actually going through the pit and collecting so many of the steel ingots, because some of them can be kind of difficult to find. And the pit is probably the most buggy DLC, where sometimes you do just fall through the floor, which is a little bit annoying, or the game just crashes, or both. The Perforator, I would move up a tier from the other assault rifles, and I'd put it high up into A tier. I think it's actually a pretty solid assault rifle and a pretty solid gun for most instances, and it can be a worthwhile thing to rush for the pit. As well as if you go through and get the 90 ingots, you're getting arguably one of the best weapons in the game, not the Perforator, but the Metal Blaster. That one might actually be the strongest weapon in the game. And you're also getting several really good armors throughout that, so you can just be wearing those and you'll be pretty set for the rest of the game. There is still one other assault rifle that we should probably talk about, and that is the Anchorage assault rifle, because this one comes on certain classes in Anchorage, and you can actually sneak it out of Anchorage or cheat it out of Anchorage, even on console. The way that you do this is shove a body or multiple bodies into the pod with you once you climb in to go to the Anchorage DLC. There is one body that is always guaranteed to be there. It's one of the Gary bodies. You can come up with your own way of putting more bodies into that pod if you would like, and then you just run through the DLC normally. At the end of the DLC, once you're coming out, you just spam click until you eventually grab hold of one of the bodies. Before the thing fully loads, put all of your gear into that body, get out of the pod. It should take all your gear away, which you won't have any because you put it all in that body. Once you're out, you can grab the assault rifle. The assault rifle has the exact same stats as the regular assault rifle then, but it has basically infinite item durability. So that is a way that you can do it if you really like the assault rifle and you just really don't want it breaking. If you'd like to do that, you absolutely can. Tell me your thoughts on the assault rifle and its unique variants, the Infiltrator and the Perforator in Fallout 3. I'd really love to hear that. Thank you guys so very much for watching this, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.